You're listening to No Early GGs.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 72 of the No Early GG's FPL Draft Podcast. And Spurs are back too because Timo Werner is back in the Prem.
Oh, baby. Yeah, excited about that, Cam?
Um, I'm excited for him to get another chance, but I wasn't actually following him too much, so I don't know how well he was actually doing back in Germany.
Yeah, I can't say I was either.
Well, we're clearly big fans of Timo Werner. Let's actually look up his stats really quickly, see what's going on.
And while you're doing that, I am trying to figure out exactly when the AFCON is starting because I saw Onana play today in the FA Cup and I'm
Yeah,
confused.
yeah. So his flag right now is actually hilarious. It's pretty much every other African player and Asian player that was called up to their team is red flagged, saying, international duty. He is orange flagged for international duty, and it says 50% chance of playing.
Huh. You know what? Probably the only time that I'm ever happy to see an orange flag.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the only time that's ever happened. And to answer your question, Timo Werner has 2 goals in 8 matches for RB Leipzig this
Hmm.
season.
So better than when he was on Chelsea, at least.
Let's see about that. Yeah, yeah.
All
Four
right. Well,
goals,
that
four
was that was
goals in
fun.
21 games. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Some quick notes about this game week. It's going to be what seems like the longest game week of all time because there are 5 matches this weekend from January 12th to January 14th, and then we have to wait 5 days. And then there are 5 more of these matches on January 20th through January 22nd.
Ugh,
So
I hate the midweek limbo.
that is
You
a
just have to
10,
wait.
yeah, that is a 10-day game week pretty much. There probably have been those before, but I can't really remember them being that spread out before.
I do remember a few where actually, yeah, you could be right. I know we've had to wait days.
Like a week. I remember a
Yeah,
week probably.
maybe. Yeah, I think it was like midweek, a few games, and then within that same game week, the next week, midweek, there are a few. But yeah, I don't know if we've ever had to wait 2 full weekends.
Ridiculous.
That'll be good for some people and very annoying for others.
Yeah, it's gonna be hell if you're losing and your opponent likes trash talk. That's one thing.
Let's hope let's hope you're playing someone who isn't too involved if
Yeah.
you're losing midweek.
Yeah. The other note I wanted to say is that the Burnley Luton game was actually moved to Friday, so the waiver deadline is now Thursday afternoon EST. It'll be more like evening if you're in England.
January 11th.
It's been a while, but I think we wanted to review how our teams did last week, though, unless you don't want to. How did your team do?
Oh no, I'm definitely open to going through my squad. Thanks. So, game week 20 came away with a victory, and I'm actually pretty happy with how my team performed. I know I'm usually not too excited. I have been squeaking away with wins this season, but finally Rashford put some points up. He scored. They Man, you still lost, but got to be happy with Rashford, and Gibbs White scored and got a bonus. So it was Rashford, Gibbs White, Tavernier. Very happy I picked him up. He had an assist and a bonus. And the last person who contributed something for me was Isak with the goal as well. And my defenders totaled 3 points out of all them and Onana. So, yep, we move forward, but got the W.
Yeah, my so over here I can mainly thank 2 players for my points. It was Cole Palmer with 18 and then Salah with 16, a nice parting gift before he leaves me. The saddest thing looking at my team is the 4 red flags from players being gone. I already ditched Adingra for Jensen although there might be some other changes made with that midfield spot. But yeah, it's gonna be basically gonna be playing with 10 for the next 4 game weeks, unless I decide to drop one of those players, which will probably not happen, even though Nick Jackson has been somewhat of a meme for the entire season. I honestly don't think there's a forward better than him out there in the
I mean,
waivers.
you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I basically don't set my lineup other than the goalie for 4 weeks, so maybe you won't hear
Also,
from me.
I just have to add a note for context. I don't know why, but for some reason, Cam's been dancing around the fact that he is running away with first place. And I think that is because he doesn't want to jinx it. But Cam has 3 losses this year. The person second has 6. So comfortable 9 points ahead. But I'll let you
I, I
respond.
I needed the cushion for this time. I'm gonna be honest, I did not think about AFCON at all while I was drafting my team or the Asian Cup. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, me neither.
Kudus was actually a waiver pickup, so he wasn't on my team originally, but Salah, Matoma, and Jackson would have been going regardless. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it's a kind of lucky. I mean, Salah, I feel like whoever has Salah is usually doing pretty well based on his goal
Yeah.
scoring record. So I think it's probably that.
Yeah. Only Salah. That's the reason. I was talking to someone in our league the other day, and we're like, wait a minute. Cam is definitely the cause. It hasn't been talked about enough, but we got to figure out a way to take you down.
I think it's hopefully not, but I think it's coming in these weeks. Or Cole Palmer will still score 20 points a game week,
Mm-hmm.
which probably won't happen, but we'll see.
It might.
All right. I think we wanted to hop in since it is there hasn't been much transfer activity. I know we alluded to Timo Werner at the beginning of this episode, but Noah loves transfer rumors. So I think you had some compiled that you wanted to talk through about that you were like the most excited about. So let's hear what you have.
Yeah, so it has been a slow January transfer window thus far. Um, Honestly, the only rumor that seems to be trending towards not being a rumor is Timo Werner, which will be interesting. I feel like he will add a lot of value to the forward pool, but knowing FPL, they might find a way to label him as a midfielder. And if that's the case, definitely won't be targeting him. But yeah, Timu's the only one though thus far. Spurs are also looking to bring in Radu Dragusin
Oh,
from Genoa,
center back, correct?
center back. I believe so. I was hoping you'd be able to fill that in, but that is not a problem. We'll follow up on that in later episodes. It looks like Tony, he's back, he's not suspended, and talks are that he wants to stay with Brentford. So all those rumors of him going somewhere else, I'm going to say I don't think they are going to happen. I think Tony will stick with Brentford, at least for the rest of the season. And honestly, the only other one that I saw, Bournemouth are bidding for an Ecuadorian midfielder named Oscar Zambrano.
I like I feel like whenever you pause a little bit, you're like thinking about the name. Is that correct?
Yes. That was the scariest part. I was like, where's his name? Oscar. Oh, yeah, no, that was an easy one. Wasn't sure about the Genoa guy, but yeah, definitely take a look at our Twitter at no early GGs. I've been retweeting Fabrizio, scouring Twitter or X for all the latest transfer rumors. So yeah, I'll keep on doing that, and we'll follow up on further rumors next episode.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. The Timo Werner thing. I know you were joking about his position, but I don't know like where he plays in their team.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, maybe if they can get him in quickly, he'll play a little bit while Son's gone. But like, yeah,
mm,
I don't really see where he slots in. I'm sure he'll take the Richarlison spot where, he's subbing in the second half, trying to score a goal if they're down or
yeah,
something like that. But
honestly, yeah, him and Brennan Johnson are pretty similar players. Honestly,
yeah, yeah, no, I'm with you there. So that'll be interesting, especially when he drops in the free agent pool and see who will take that risk, which I'm sure a lot of people will, because there definitely are not enough forwards for 12 teams to have 3 active ones.
yeah, yeah. All right, I think we
Last
can.
one,
Yep.
Nkuku is injured.
Yes.
So, unrelated injury, but
Yeah, I read about that injury. I think they probably won't start him in. I think they're playing Middlesbrough next, so we probably won't see him there. I think he's actually only yellow flagged in FPL, but we know that they're never
they're
really
colorblind.
paying attention. They're colorblind.
They
Whoever's setting
actually
these
are. They
flags is
must be.
colorblind. Yeah, I would be interested to see like if he's on the bench, if he plays at all, but I think they're definitely just they don't want to injure him again, seriously, like they did in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, you know what that could mean then? Broja
I know.
could add some value.
Yeah, I mean, whenever he's played though, he hasn't looked very good. Uh,
No, but yeah.
I think 4 Chelsea players in my team would be too many.
Mm-hmm. No, you should do it.
All
Give it a
right.
shot.
Actually, wait, no, 5. I would have 5 Chelsea players at that point.
Yeah, you should do it.
Oh,
One,
I
two,
sense some
three.
sarcasm. All right, let's jump into these games. So, like I mentioned earlier, the first game is actually now Luton versus Burnley on Friday of this week. I just want to get a sense before we talk about specific FPL aspects of this game. Who do you think wins this? Luton are at home. They're actually now 4 points clear of Burnley, but still in the relegation zone. So who do you think wins this game?
I'm leaning towards Luton.
Yeah.
They've looked decent. They look like a seasoned Premier League team after the past few weeks. I know they lost to Chelsea last week, but they scored 2 goals. And then the week before, they beat Sheffield and scored 3 goals.
Mhm.
And then they beat Newcastle in game week 18, 1-0. So I know it's not the most ideal, record of the past few games, but I mean it's positive and they are scoring goals. So I'm leaning towards Luton. I
I
may even have one of those Luton players
I know exactly who you have.
favored.
Oh, not on waivers. Oh, you already have Carlton Morris.
I did pick up Carlton Morris.
So now I'm not going to be rooting for him. You will be.
I mean, you can
Uh,
still root for him.
yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if who the players that you're talking about. The player I have written down for them is Doughty because he has 1 goal and 5 assists on the season, which is kind of nuts. And I think it's because he takes their corners, and they have scored like a corner in every single game, from what I remember. At least they did against Arsenal and they did against City, I think. Um, so yeah, he definitely seems a danger because they're only scoring off set pieces. So I imagine it's him. Uh, that's probably their best asset right now, to be quite honest, because it's hard to predict
So
those set piece
yeah,
scorers.
I agree with you. Defender. So yeah, I mean, if anything, I would look at him for Burnley, but I'm actually talking about Adebayo.
Mm,
He's a forward and he's the third highest point scorer for Luton right now and has been playing, most of the games
yeah,
over Carlton Morris. So I don't know. Obviously, I went for Morris and he still hasn't been playing, but Adebayo has been. I don't know. Morris has 3 goals, 4 assists. Adebayo has 5 goals. So I don't know. I mean, I think they should both be playing, but I have not watched too much too many of the Luton games. So I don't
Yeah.
know. They could be potentials though.
Yeah. I think they've been favoring like a three attackers with Townsend is one of them, and he's a midfielder, which is so annoying. And then Jacob Brown is the other guy. On the Burnley side, so I honestly can't tell. Like, I feel like Luton would more likely keep a clean sheet in this game based on how they've been playing. Um, is there anybody from Burnley, FPL wise, that you have been looking at? I think Odebear is the one player that looks really good to me, and I think this would be the one game to like potentially play him against Luton.
So Lyle Foster is
Yeah.
my Burnley guy. I had him for a while and he was, scoring points for me and it was great. But then he missed about 6 games
Yeah.
due to mental illness. So I dropped him, but he's been back for 4 weeks and he has a goal and an assist.
Mhm.
So I think he's my top prospect. Unfortunately, he is taken in our league, but Lyle Foster, I think, is the truth when it comes to the Burnley forwards.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough Burnley Luton talk. We can move on. Next game is that I've written down is Chelsea Fulham. So Chelsea did beat Luton last game, and Fulham, I actually forget what happened to them. I think that they won though, correct?
Mm,
Yep, they beat Arsenal. That's how I remember. Significant win. Bobby De Cordova-Reid started, and I believe he scored. Yep, Raul Jimenez also scored. So Fulham pulling off a big win there. Now they're playing another London team. Um, I would expect them to score again, to be quite honest. I think the big questions are what are Chelsea's lineup in this game, especially their attackers. So Nick Jackson's gone. If Nkunku's injured, then probably Broya, as you brought up. And then I
is it
believe
Broya, not Broja?
I don't know. I've heard it both ways.
You just, yeah, I mean, smart to default the way that I'm not saying it. So,
Yeah, exactly. I think the big person to talk about has a goal in the last two games is Madueke for Chelsea. He
mhm.
scored against Luton. He scored that game-winning penalty the week before, and he didn't start that first game against Palace where he scored, but he did start against Luton 80 minutes. Uh, and he looks pretty good. Like I said, I would have five Chelsea players at that point, and that would be my entire midfield. So probably not for me, but he would be the one that I would be looking at off that right wing. And then I think Sterling Palmer are probably shoo-ins to start behind Broya if Nkunku is not healthy.
Who's this fourth Chelsea player that you have? Are you about to bring someone in that I don't know about? Because I was counting three.
Well, I'm counting the goalie, Petrovic. Gusto,
And
Petrovic, Palmer, and Jackson are the four that I have now.
that's Petrovic. That's who I did not see. Yeah, that was a good pickup.
I'm a little bit interested to see when Sanchez comes back. He's still red flagged,
I mean, he didn't
and
even look good when he's been in there. So
that's expected back February 3rd, which is actually
it's coming up.
3 game weeks from
I
now.
know.
Yeah.
I think it's still worth it.
Yep. Um, so I don't know. Chilwell also orange flagged now, so
I saw that.
we might see him come back. I know you probably are not coming within 10 yards of him based on how it was last season,
I
but I
don't
don't
even
know.
remember. I know that we had a relationship, but I guess I repressed those tough memories.
All right, that answers my question. So yeah, I have Petrovic in this game against Fulham. I also have Pickford against Villa, and I'm very torn on who to play actually. Um,
I think you gotta
because
go Petrovic.
but I already have Gusto who has to start because he's one of my 10 players.
Ah,
So
ye old defender goalie
yeah,
combo issue for you, Cam. That's your weakest part about this game.
yeah. And I had Sean Onana, shades of Sean Onana last season.
Oh, yeah. No, I know how you set that lineup. So I don't know though. Oh yeah, we'll get to Everton Villa later. I
Yeah,
just I'm trying to remember this Fulham Arsenal game from last weekend. I definitely watched it and It was a lot of fun to see all of our Arsenal friends struggling, but I don't know why I can't really remember it. I guess it was so long ago, but I don't think Chelsea will have an issue with Fulham. I think Fulham got lucky against Arsenal.
All right. Well, your biggest I'm not your biggest fan is the wrong thing to say. The person that you were the biggest fan of in the Fulham team when they were scoring a lot was Iwobi, so he's gone at
Mm-hmm.
AFCON. Uh, Bobby De Cordova-Reid scored against Arsenal. Um, do you think Andreas is the best player on their team now in terms of midfielders? I would think so.
Andreas, yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened to Willian, but yeah, I think in this point in time, I think you're right. I still think Kearney is good.
Hmm.
He's been scoring, but I don't know how much.
Yeah, I don't know if I would trust their players right now. I would actually like it's been such a weird break that I feel like you have to take like one game to get back into it to like see how teams play. Okay, we can move on. Now we have a big one. This is Newcastle versus City. I think the big news for this, which really isn't like FPL draft relevant, to be quite honest, is that Haaland seems to still be injured. A lot of City players are already taken, so I feel like there's not really much to talk about. KDB is also back. He was probably held in most leagues, but if he's not, you actually absolutely have to pick him up
Mm-hmm.
as soon as you
Yeah.
can. And that's about it for them. Like we'll see how them returning changes their lineup, but there's usually like no City talk from us, and I feel like that stays the same even now.
Yep. Except for I'm gonna add one thing, which is
Oh, what are you adding?
I will give a little update on John Stones's red flag.
Okay.
It says unknown, and I know a lot of you out there are debating whether or not it's worth dropping him. But my insiders are saying that it's not that serious, and he should be back within the next game or two.
Mm,
Now, I still have him, and I have no idea what to do.
yeah.
Luckily, I don't have many players, if any, going to AFCON besides Onana, maybe. So, yeah, there's an update on Stones, but not sure what else. Doesn't seem like it's a bad injury. Just wanted to get that out there.
You're speaking the short injury layoff into existence.
I mean, yeah, I just, have to help everyone out with FPL's colorblindness. They just say unknown return date. Like, give us a little bit more. Come on.
All right, from the Newcastle side, Wilson's now red flagged, which is good for your Isak. I just wanted to get an idea. So it's definitely going to be Gordon, Almiron, Isak from what we have seen previously, and all of their other red flags. Are you starting anybody else from Newcastle in this game? I have to start Botman, but it wouldn't be my first choice if I had to pick.
So, Joe Ellington actually started up top against Liverpool instead of Almiron.
Mhm.
And Joe Ellington has been pretty decent an FPL player. He has a few goals here and there, and he plays a ton. He was injured a few weeks ago for Luton, Chelsea, but he was playing right wing. So I would target him
Mhm.
just for the future.
It's a good call out.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, anything else from them?
Yes. Also, with Trippier back, it looks like it could be the end of the Livermento run, unfortunately, but I think they're solidified with Botman's Scar, Burn, and Trippier there.
Yeah, and Dubravka, unfortunately for me. Uh,
Mm,
all right. So next up, we have Everton versus Aston Villa. Very interested to see how this game goes.
yeah,
Um,
this seems like one of those kind of up in the air games. I feel like Villa Everton is always not what we expect.
yeah, I think I'm going to be starting Pickford just because Everton can keep a clean sheet at home. But I mean, Villa's not my number one choice because they do score. I feel like you have to start all their players. I have the most faith in Alex Moreno against them just because Dinier's still out. But how do you feel about Everton players in this? And would you target any in waivers? I think Doucouré is still orange flagged.
Yeah, I mean, Ducore maybe is the only one, but I don't know. I mean, I think there was actually a rumor about Onana on Everton. Where was he linked to? I
Hmm.
think Arsenal. All right, there you go. Backtracking to a rumor. Arsenal are linked to Onana, trying to get him in the January transfer window, 2024.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone else. I had Branthwaite
Yep.
and picked him up in both my leagues. That obviously backfired on me, and that's it. He's gone.
Nice. Yeah, I actually looking now at their flags, Idrissa Gueye is at AFCON, which makes me even more wary of their defenders. Maybe I'll switch my Pickford start, but I'm not actually sure. But that does impact how I view the Everton team. And guess what? Calvert-Lewin is now red flagged. Who would have thought?
Shocker. Well, it's
They
because he was. It was because he got a red card in
uh
the FA Cup.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that wasn't a red.
But okay, well, yeah, I did see that they were appealing it. I didn't see the outcome of that, but I think it happened the other day. I think that suspension may get lifted.
Yeah. All
But
right.
again, it's confusing. Like I've no like he got a red card in the FA Cup, so he's out until
Yeah.
February 3rd in this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be lifted. Still doesn't really make a difference to me.
Yeah. Aston Villa are business as usual. They didn't really lose anyone to AFCON other than Bertrand Traore, who has two FPL points on the season. So I think we're still, guessing if Bailey or Diaby is the one starting. I feel like they started together in the last game, so I would start both of them. I mean, they can score against anybody, but their defenders, I think, are the real question. I think I would start them too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And they did both start. I like that lineup. It was Bailey on the right, McGinn, Douglas Luiz in the middle. Ramsey is back, actually. Jacob Ramsey.
Yep.
He started on the left, and then Diaby was center forward, Watkins up top.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that formation.
Yep. All right. The last game of this weekend is Manchester United versus Spurs. Obviously, I feel like the big miss is that Son will not be playing for Spurs in this game. And I don't think Timo Werner will be either. I know we already talked about him. Um, but I would kind of temper my expectations on him. I don't know how much of an FPL asset he's going to be. Spurs will also be missing uh, Sar, who's been pretty important for them. Romero
Yeah.
and Madison are still out. Uh, Basuma, obviously, at AFCON. Ben Davies is now orange flagged. Like they have so many injuries. Um,
Sheesh.
I don't. The crazy thing is though, even with all of these injuries and some of them are defensive, Van de Ven is actually not flagged anymore, which is big news. I would probably target him if he was
Mm-hmm.
dropped, not for this game, but in the future. And I don't think like Pedro Porro and Udogi, you have to start them every game. Well, you have both of them.
Maybe. Well, yeah. In the
If
other
you
league, I
have
do
both
have
of them,
both.
you don't.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
But I mean, even like Porro scores more, but Udogi is like at the corner of the six when they're crossing the
Yeah.
ball.
It is a fun and stressful game I play every week where if matchups are better with all my defenders and I'm like, all right, I'm going to start one of them, but who's it going to be? I have been leaning towards Pedro Porro,
Yep.
and it has been working out. So yeah, that is a fun little game to play. But yeah, everybody definitely listen to Cam. Wait a week on Van de Ven.
No,
Don't anyone try to pick him up this week.
no, definitely try to pick him up this week,
Oh,
but
God.
maybe
All
don't
right.
start him.
All right. Everyone outside of our league, pick him up this week.
Uh,
um,
sorry to blow up your spot there.
okay. It's Lo Celso. I like a
Yep.
lot. he's contributing. And last week he had 2 assists. Week before he played, or I guess the past 4 weeks, he played less than 25 minutes and he didn't even
Mm.
play against Forest. But I don't know what's been going on there. I think he'll be in there at least for the next 4 weeks. So I'm
Yeah.
interested in him now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's an interesting player to pick up. Um,
Also, another transfer rumor, which seems like more of a rumor, Eric Dyer is potentially going to Bayern.
I don't believe that for one
Uh,
second.
well, I saw a few press conferences by, you're not going to help me there,
Oh, Ange Postecoglou.
Postacoglu. And yeah, I mean, he was getting pissed at a reporter as he should have because the reporter was only trying to ask him about Eric Dyer. And it doesn't seem like he likes him very much. So I wouldn't be surprised if Eric Dyer goes to Bayern. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I actually think I saw that too. I forget what his response was, but he was like, "We'll be okay." All right. Other than that, I wanted to get your opinion. I feel like we did this kind of recently, but I wanted you to rank the United midfielders.
Yeah, they won 2-0 today against Wigan. Is that what you
Yeah.
asked?
No, I wanted you to rank their midfielders.
Rank their midfielders. Based on form right now.
Yeah, just to FPL, how would you pick them up now if you were drafting today?
Oh, all right. If I was drafting today, yeah, I mean, this is tough. I'm thinking of the future. If I were drafting today, I would go Bruno number one, Rashford two, Garnacho three.
Mm. Garnacho 3?
Well, yes, I know he played really well today. He's been hot. If you were to ask me who would I pick up right now and just have for the next few games, I would go Garnacho, Bruno, Rashford.
Ah, okay. See, I don't
I
want to I don't
just
want to speak ill of Bruno too much because I'm playing him this week. That's bad juju.
see, I knew there's a reason why you weren't talking about your first place standing. But I'm with you, Bruno. Watching these games, he's not adding anything, and he just complains all the time, and it's just like I don't even want you to do well. It's just so exhausting. Like score goals or do something, and then you can complain. But like just putting everything, like relying everything on his complaints is annoying. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but I still have faith in them, and I don't know. It could be a blind trust, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I ran into this last week. I played Garnacho. He's one of my least favorite players. I feel like we've been over this. He scored twice. It was devastating. I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Bruno. It's going to be hate watching this game on Sunday.
Oh, I
It's all
hope he
right.
scores.
No, why would you say that? All
Uh,
right, let's move on. We're actually jumping a full week ahead now. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. I honestly think the biggest news out of this game right now is Elise might be injured. He's orange flagged, which he's been absolutely on fire. Like
mhm.
I mean, you're probably gonna make fun of me, but like if I could have like one player at Chelsea, I feel like it would be him right now, like a young player.
No, I'm with you. I mean, he's probably the most exciting player to watch right now. I mean, especially because he's doing it at Palace.
Yeah, yeah. So if he's out, I'm a little bit worried about Palace. Like I feel like we always say like start Eze and Elise, and that's probably it. I think Edouard is in that conversation now because there's no forwards, as we harp on a lot. But is there anybody else from Palace worth mentioning?
I mean,
Mateta?
Mateta,
Yeah.
yeah, like he's been playing, but I feel like that's only because Edouard has been injured. But it looks like Edouard's back. I mean, Mateta hasn't been horrible comparing them. Let's see. Do you know how many goals each one of them has?
I think Mateta probably has like 4 goals and Edward has like 5 or 6, right? Before he got injured.
So Edward has 6 goals, 0 assists, and Mateta has 2 goals, 4 assists.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a toss up between both of them for me, but I would love to have either of them.
Yeah, I honestly think Edward last season played left wing sometimes, and IU is at AFCON, so I think they're going to start
Yep.
together, if I had to guess,
Yeah. No,
which is
I
great
mean, I
for forwards.
yeah, I don't know. I think ideally for Palace, they would want to have Elise, Eze, Edward, and Mateta on the field at all times.
Yeah.
And then IU, when he's back. But when he's gone, those four should be starting up top every single time.
Wow, I can't believe my ears. Did you just compliment Jordan Ayew?
Well, yeah, you know what? I've been joking about it over the past season and a half, but hey, I had him in one of my leagues and he was doing great. I think I'm taking a turn on Palace. They've been
Mm.
impressing me.
All right. Well, let's move on before you start slandering him again. Okay. Brentford versus Forest. I feel like this is an interesting one. So Brentford still have all their defensive injuries, but now they also still have Mbeumo out and Wisa is gone. So I'm
But
not really
guess who's
trusting their
back?
defenders. Tony is back. So and Jensen also back. Don't forget Jensen because he's on my team now.
But Norgard went off injured against Wolves in the FA Cup the other day.
Hmm.
Don't think that's much, but carry on.
I mean, Jensen, definitely the biggest name returning for Brentford this January. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just
No,
kidding.
I mean, you're not wrong because he's the third highest point scorer for Brentford. And yeah, he missed,
Like 10 games or something, like eight
well,
games.
5 games, six kind of. He popped in for 23 minutes against Wolves a few weeks ago.
It
But
was a
yeah,
decent amount. It was a decent
no,
amount.
it was a lot. And the point is, he's still the third top point scorer, and he's been out for that long.
Yeah, I am fully expecting both teams to score in this game based on how their games have been. I think their games have been going. Like neither team very strong at the back. Forest are missing a lot of players to AFCON, and Brentford are also missing a lot of players. They're coming off like a Premier League break. So I don't think I would start any defenders in this game, to be quite honest. But are you trusting Maupay? I
I
mean, he's
mean,
got to start, right?
He scored against Wolves in the FA Cup. It was a pretty nice goal. I don't know if he'll start because of Tony.
You think Tony's going to start right away? I guess he
Well,
probably will.
yeah, I'll run you through. I have been doing a little bit of research into Brentford, and even when Embuemo, I think when he first got injured or he wasn't starting for some reason, Mapai still wasn't starting. They put up, I think, Lewis Potter.
Yeah,
I don't know, and Tony played his first game with the U23s.
I saw these highlights. They're crazy.
Yeah, hat trick, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, I don't know. If I'm Brentford, I would consider him ready. I would throw him in as soon as I possibly can.
yeah.
I don't know why he didn't play again in the FA Cup. Maybe is he banned from FA for this year?
I think he's still technically banned until the 16th or something, but he'll be
Okay.
back in this game.
Okay. So yeah, because they have their replay against Wolves this weekend. That's
Hmm.
why they're not playing till next weekend. But I don't think Mapai will be starting with
Yeah,
Tony back.
yeah,
He'll
definitely
come
not.
in, but yeah, nah.
So take back everything I said. All right. Sheffield versus West Ham. Sheffield United versus West Ham. They are the other team that made moves. The person is not actually in the transaction list yet. That's Ben Brereton Diaz. He's Chilean. I think he used to be
Mm-hmm.
English. I actually don't know. Somebody said he's one of my favorite players in our chat. I don't know. That person's listening to this. I don't know where you got that from.
What's his name?
Ben Brereton Diaz. I can't remember what if that's a joke that I made or at some point, but anyway, uh
Oh, oh yeah.
he's he's at Sheffield. Like, I don't know. Usually transfers are pretty exciting, but it's Sheffield United. Like, how do you feel about that?
I Yeah, I think that was a joke because I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. He's a striker. I think that was it.
Yeah.
He'll be a forward, hopefully. But
I
probably
mean,
not.
he has to get picked up like him like that's the reason Archer is rostered. Like he's a striker that plays. So I feel like those two are the only two players from Sheffield United you can like have on a team.
Sure. Yeah.
You don't even want to roster. Hey, you're the one that's always complaining about the forward pool.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll take a look. Um, I have Carlton Morris right now, so I do have three active forwards, kind
Mm,
of active. But yeah, no, I'll assess the situation when we get there. I
yeah.
won't completely rule it out, is what I'm saying.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, speaking of, I mean, I kind of alluded to it. I think West Ham win this game based on their form, and Sheffield United obviously are still in last. For West Ham, though, they're now missing Kudus. They didn't score against Brighton. They actually got dominated from the stats. Uh, do you see are any of the players on their team like worthy pickups now that they have a hole in their starting lineup? I believe Benrahma and Fornal started the last game, but I don't know if you think that they're good FPL assets.
Um, so for now's is interesting. He has some crucial goals in the past I guess few months.
Yep.
And yeah, I am just double checking that that claim's correct. But I'll move on to Ben Rama for right now. Yeah, Ben Rama, I don't know. I don't think I'm even gonna come close to him. I just he doesn't look like he's a good player when he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that. Um, yeah, Fornals potentially I would consider. It'd take me a few more weeks to study that, I guess. He did start against Brighton
Yep.
a few weeks ago, and he played 74 minutes against Bristol City. But I'm trying to think, is Paqueta out?
Yeah, he was injured. I think
He
he's
was
still orange
injured.
flagged.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. No, I don't have interest in Fornals or Ben Rama.
Hmm. Okay.
We'll just put it there.
Yeah. All right. I think we can move on though. Although I do think West Ham defenders, if you have them, probably good starts this week against Sheffield away. And then Sheffield players, I'm not touching them other than maybe Archer if you're desperate. Okay. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. I think the main question is Salah's obviously gone. Endo is also gone, but not really FPL relevant. Who do you think is the like? What do you think their attack is going to be now that Salah is away from the squad?
Ooh, interesting. I think it is gonna be Darwin.
Okay.
Wow, this is tough. All right. I'm going Darwin, Jota, and Gakpo.
I think that's what the lineup was against Arsenal.
I
Um,
did Luis Diaz.
I think Gakpo at least was on the right wing. I know that to start.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check because I know Luis Diaz has been starting recently,
Jota's
but
been better, I think.
yeah, that's exactly my point. Yeah. So yeah, last game it was against
Yeah.
Arsenal. It was
Yep.
Darwin, Gakpo, Diaz. So Salah came in as a
No,
sub, right?
Jota
No.
Jota came in as a sub.
So Salah was gone already. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He's already
I don't know
gone.
what I was thinking of. Yeah, I think Jota will slot in instead of Diaz, and Diaz actually did score against Liverpool, so I don't know what I was talking about
He scored against Arsenal.
against Arsenal. Yeah, sorry, it's getting late. Uh, I still, yeah, I still think Jota is the better player and somewhat in better form.
Yep.
But the one player I am interested in is Curtis Jones.
I didn't no idea who you were going to say there. I was going to say Harvey Elliott.
So
You're
I
a
don't
big
know about
Harvey
Harvey
Elliott
Elliott.
fan. You're a big Harvey Elliott fan, don't lie.
I was last year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he won me a few games, but that was mostly my dad too. He got me on the Harvey Elliott bandwagon. But I was looking into Curtis Jones a lot after the Newcastle game because he looked great. He had a bunch of shots. I think a few were just nice saves by Dubravka, but he did score a goal and he's been looking really solid. The only thing that worried me was he hasn't been playing as much as I thought he did,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I can see him. I can see him slotting in there. I'll probably wait a little bit, but I don't know. Who are they going to go? I mean, they have McAllister, who I guess can play like the center defensive mid. And then that would leave Curtis Jones and Soboslai up there, except for Soboslai is injured with a orange flag. So that could be interesting. But I can also see what I'm sure 99% of us do in FIFA is start Luis Diaz, Darwin, Gakpo, and then put like Jota at the center attacking mid.
I don't. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I don't think so. Klopp has never done that. So
Yeah,
that's just something I know everyone would be like, oh, let's go. I knew I was right in FIFA.
yeah. I'll be interested to see what their lineup is. I probably would stay away if you don't have those front four. I probably would. Those would be the only ones that I'd be like, yeah, if they're out there, go get them with
And
Salah gone.
Soboslai.
Yeah, for sure. On the Bournemouth side, Semenyo's gone. He'd been starting a while. Uh, Sinistera started the last game. I think Semenyo probably didn't get the start before AFCON just to see how it would look. I know we've been big fans of some of the players on Bournemouth that aren't Solanke recently. Is Sinistera interesting to you or not?
You want me to talk up your boy, don't you?
No. I'm not interested in him anymore, but I feel like Clivert, Tavernier, Solanke have been hot. Semenyo has kind of been in there, but
Mhm.
Sinister I feel like has always been somewhat dangerous when he starts.
Yeah, no, I think he's a good player. I really liked him on Leeds, but yeah, Clivert, Tavernier, Solanke, you know, those are guys that if they're out there, I would pick them up. I mean, Bournemouth are still really hot,
Yep.
and they just beat QPR in the FA Cup. And guess who scored one of their goals?
Who scored?
Kiefer Moore.
I'm not no. Are you suggesting him? Are you suggesting him?
No, I just thought that would be a great name to mention. He
Mm,
hasn't been getting enough love, especially from us recently. I feel
he's
like
a
we
cult
talked about
hero.
him.
Yeah.
But another interesting thing, and I'm sure this was just because they were playing against QPR in FA Cup, but Tavernier started as left back,
Really?
but he also scored.
What?
So
He's
I don't
moonlighting
know.
as a left back. All right, interesting.
Happy about that.
Yeah. All right. We have one more game. We're jumping all the way to next Monday with this one. It's Brighton versus Wolves. And Wolves now missing Huang, Brighton now missing Matoma and Adingra and a lot of other people. But Estupinian is back and he can't stop scoring already, which is crazy. So if he's available, definitely worth picking up. Uh, I don't know if he would have been held in smaller leagues. Probably not. So definitely worth a pickup now. Probably his first waiver. They have Luton next week. Um, I guess the question is who are they starting now that all of their midfielders are either gone or injured? So Buonanotte, I think we talked about him last episode, has been starting at the center attacking mid. I'm actually going to jump over Gilmore and Milner all the way to Hinchelwood at right back.
Hinchelwood,
Have you been
yes,
watching Hinchelwood?
I have. I like him a lot.
He is basically if Udogi was right back on Brighton. He's like in the box every single time they're crossing the ball. And then when he's
Hmm.
not scoring, he's like shooting. I don't know. their system is really weird and I don't understand it, and I'm not going to try to, but he is probably one of their top midfield options with all these people gone now.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
playing right back. It's like Pascal Gross pretty much, but he's English and he's 17 years old, or however old Jack Hinchelwood is.
that is, I mean, I think something's going to change with Brighton. I know you saw how pumped they were. They were celebrating their first clean sheet
That was so funny. Yeah.
at some restaurant in London. That was the greatest and funniest thing I've ever seen. That was awesome to see. And I think they're turning it around. Not immediately, because they did let up 2 goals to Stoke their past game, the FA Cup. But they were kind of, I don't know if it was, their strongest lineup. It is, I'm looking at it right now and it looked a little weird, but they played with 3 in the back.
Yep.
Estupinian scored again,
Yep.
which is, I mean, this man, wish I had him. Actually, all 3 of their defenders scored. Estupinian scored, Dunk scored, and Van Heck scored an own goal.
Yep. Oh, he had an assist. He actually looks really good recently.
Yeah, he's been available too. I think all the Brighton defenders, besides the Stupinian, are available in our league, just because no one. I mean,
No clean
there
sheets.
hasn't been a point of picking them up.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I'm with you there.
On the
So
Wolves.
maybe about Wolves, you said.
Yeah. What
Hmm.
what about the Wolves side? So Huang is gone. So Cunha, I mean, he's already been starting probably up top. Neto is back just in time for me to face him, which is lovely. And I feel like it's got to be Sarabia up there too. They've kind of been switching off between 2 up top and 3 up top. But if Sarabia is still starting, I think he's worth a pickup because he's always on their set pieces, and I think he's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. Is he a forward?
He's a midfielder. No, you already knew the
Mm.
answer to that question. I could hear it in your voice.
No, it actually wasn't. Cunha's a forward.
Yes, yeah, Cunha is a
Okay.
forward.
I don't know about Sarabia. I don't think.
Not a
I
big
don't think I have
fan.
any interest. I mean, no, he hasn't done anything.
Let's
So
see.
no.
He is there. He started the
scored
last
he
six
scored against
games,
Spurs and he played 4 minutes.
1 goal
Uh,
and 5 assists. That's pretty good.
okay, 5 assists. I knew I was missing something there.
Actually, we've kind of glossed over it for the past couple episodes but I'm actually surprised you haven't picked this guy up or mentioned him. Mario Lemina, 4 goals. He's got 4 goals
why why did you why do you say that you're surprised I haven't picked him up?
because he's a center mid. You love
I
center mids who
know.
play 90 minutes. It's like
Oh,
Højbjerg. You always talk about Højbjerg from last year. This is this
well,
year's Højbjerg.
okay, well, I was like, I'm laughing inside because yeah, I was looking at him. God damn. I was like, why would I thought I was no. I have been looking at him because he has been scoring. Yes, exactly. But I don't know. I
They're like
probably would
random
consider him.
headers. They're random headers, is what they are.
Yeah. And another reason is because I really like my midfielders.
Hmm.
I've only had one expendable midfielder this season in my eyes. But I
Yeah,
think I have Bernardo, Rashford, Gibbs White, Ward Prowse, then Tavernier. Tavernier is my recent addition, but I don't see Lamina better than any of them. So
yeah, I
yeah,
agree
I
with
guess
that.
that's why. But
I
I
agree with
felt
that. All
yeah.
right, I have a little bit of trivia for you. I mean, you're not going to guess this,
All
but
right.
there
Let's
are
just
currently there are currently 2 players with negative point totals. Do you have any idea who they are? And can you give me an interesting fact about both of them?
can I look?
No, okay, wait. I'll just say it. So
No, no, no. Don't
there
say it.
are,
Tell me the teams.
I mean, it's not gonna help. It's Chelsea and Fulham.
Okay. No, it is. No, no, no. Are they players that I would know?
No. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say
All
it.
right, fine.
They are Marcus Bettinelli and Marek Rodak. They both have -1 points, and they both have not played a single minute. All they've done is get yellow cards on the bench, and they count for FPL, so they have -1 point.
That is awesome.
It's great. Well,
They're both
Maguire
goalies.
Maguire used to be there. Remember, he had negative for a little bit, and you
Oh
you
my
brought it
God,
up every
that's
week.
great. I'm just curious what you thought my fun facts were going to be about these two guys that I've never heard of.
Oh, the fun fact I meant is that they haven't actually played at all.
Oh, I like that.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I think that's going to do it for episode 72 of the No Early GG's FPL Draft Podcast. Thanks for listening.
All right, everyone. Gonna give you a little story. And it was I'm only gonna bring this up because it was I guess I recently thought about this based on where I was this past weekend, but if we can all think back to the World Cup back in 2014, USA played Brazil. I think it was the last match of the group stage. US was up 2-1 going into the 90th minute. And I remember, watching this game with everybody. I was in, at this bar, everyone was so pumped up. The one time that, people care about US soccer during the World Cup. It was 2-1, and I think all US needed was to win to go through. I think they actually ended up going through. You correct me there, Cam. But we went through as like the second seed instead of the first, and obviously lost the next round. But in an unbelievable cross by Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal tied it up in the 95th minute,
Mm-hmm.
and the US were demoralized. So because of that, everyone please respect your opponents. No early GGs.
You're listening to No Early GGs.